Hey everybody, it's Melanie Anderson here with Anderson Education. So glad you're joining in today. Today our topic is going to be about removing glass glare with our Ringlight catch lights. And here we have Chris, who spent the last 2 days with me in a one-on-one mentorship. And Chris is a photographer from New York, and he wears glasses. So we thought this was a perfect opportunity to train you guys on what we deal with any of our clients that have glasses and that we use the ring lights, because obviously I cannot move the ring lights to off to the side to where I don't have glass glare. With the ring lights, our headshots, the light is directly in front of our client. So what we do, how do we handle that? We take an image of them and tell them not to move. So we do a great image, a great headshot without their glasses. Then we tell them not to move, and our assistant will actually remove the glasses. I'll take another image, and we'll utilize those eyes into the image with glasses. So it will make sense here in a moment. Chris is here, and she's going to walk you through how to do that. So thanks for tuning in. Take care, guys.
All right, so just like Melanie mentioned, we have two images here taken right in sequence. So we're going to start with the image. Here's the image of him with his glasses on. So, you can obviously spend time cloning those lights out, but that's a lot of time. So what we're going to do before any cropping, because if I were to crop, I wouldn't necessarily get the perspective right, the size right. So I'm going to do this before I crop in order to keep, everything the same exact size. So really simply, what I'm going to do is take my patch tool, and I'm going to select a larger chunk of his eyes, giving myself a lot of extra space here as needed. And then take my tool and just drag it right on top, right over here. I'm going to do my best to line up. I can kind of see where his nose is at and line it up so it fits. I'm just going to turn the layer on and off, see where I need to move it. And that looks pretty good right there. So now I'm going to take the layer of his eyes and do a layer mask. And I'm going to just paint away all of these areas and then kind of give myself a rough outline, and then I'm going to go in and further define it. So just painting away, not erasing, painting away so I can go back in and further refine. All right, so now I'm going to make my brush a little bit harder and bring it in here and just really get close to the frames. So I'm just brushing on the layer mask, and I got a little close there, so I'm just toggling back and forth. Get that. That looks pretty great. So let's just see a before and after there. See a little bit that I missed up here. You just want to be careful of, having any kind of harsh lines. So there's with the flare and without. So that looks awesome. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to show you guys how I would process this image, and you can continue learning how we do this for commercial portraits. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and flatten the image now. I can exit out of the extra image, and I'm going to go ahead and crop it as 11 by 14 by 300 dpi. For these, we typically do a horizontal, a tighter crop, off-centered. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a portraiture filter, an imagenomic portraiture. This is our skin softening filter. So this is going to help take care of some of the wrinkles and just kind of soften his skin and remove some of the blemishes there. So that softened up pretty well. And now I'm going to go in and just remove some blemishes. Anything that catches my eye. We want the focus and attention to be, on him, on his eyes, and not on minor imperfections. I don't want to go too crazy. I want to make sure that keep it looking realistic and like him. Just removing some of those discolorations. Some of the fine lines is fine to remove as well. Remove some of these stray hairs that bother me. What I'm doing here is taking the patch tool, circling the hair, shift delete, and that comes up with our content aware. And then it does a pretty good job of removing those hairs without smudging. All right. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and bleach his teeth here as well. So my action that I used for the teeth bleaching, sometimes it does it a little intense on ring lights. So I'm actually going to duplicate this whole layer so that I can work with the opacity of the teeth bleach then, and it'll give me a little bit more control. So I'm just going to duplicate the whole image, and I'm just circling his teeth. And I'm going to use my teeth bleach action. It's a Marcy's action. And undo the history, hue and saturation. So you can see that's pretty white. So I'm just going to tone it down to make it a little bit more natural looking. But that definitely whitened up his teeth. And flatten that. And go ahead and do an eye sharpening. So I'm going to do our Naomi Angel Eye Enhance Sharpen. And just make sure I'm on soft round and about 80%. I'm just going to go just over his eyes. Helps make them pop. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and do a sharpen layer. And this is going to sharpen the whole image. And I'm going to pull in one of our textures from Florabella. It's kind of got an interesting texture to it. So I'm going to try for that. And I'm just going to set the blending mode to soft light. Now there's some lines here that I'm not a fan of. So I'm actually just going to rasterize this layer. And then take my patch tool. And so I'm only affecting the texture. I'm not affecting the actual image. So I'm just affecting the texture layer as it's set on soft light mode. Okay. I'm gonna just do a layer mask. and brush away his face so we don't have that texture going on. Okay, I'm going to do a final sharpen layer. And a light vignette. So vignette and sharpen layers, those are both Kubota actions. And I'm just going to tone down the opacity a bit. And that looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten and save it. And I always save at 10. And we're good. So that is how we completely retouch a commercial image with our ring lights, and along with removing the ring light catch light and replacing it with natural eyes. And I think that looks fantastic. You can't even tell that he had the glare in there. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email us or message us. We thank you for tuning in. Hope we helped you learn how we do that. Thanks.